Material Handling Toolbox. For this training, we will cover the basics of Subpart H of the construction standard, including the general requirements for the storage of materials, the usage of rigging equipment such as slings, fastenings, and attachments for moving materials by hoist or crane, and the disposal of waste materials. Let's start with the general requirements for storage. All materials should be stored in a secured and safe way to prevent sliding, falling, or collapse of materials. This should take into account the maximum safe load limits of the floors on which the materials are stored. Note how in this first image the wood has fallen when compared to the second image in which the materials are stored properly. Continuing with the general requirements for storage, non-compatible materials must be segregated in storage. Aisles and passageways must be kept clear and in good repair to provide for the free and safe movement of workers and the operation of material handling equipment. For storage of bagged materials, the bags must be stacked by either stepping back the layers and cross-keying the bags at least every 10 bags high, or wrapping the stacks with a strong plastic material to prevent them from falling. Brick stacks must not be more than 7 feet in height, and when a loose brick stack reaches a height of 4 feet, it must be tapered back 2 inches in every foot of height above the 4-foot level. When masonry blocks are stacked higher than 6 feet, the stack must be tapered back 1/2 block per tier above the 6-foot level, as shown in this image. For materials stored inside buildings under construction, they should not be placed within 6 feet of any hoistway or inside floor openings, nor within 10 feet of an exterior wall which does not extend above the top of the material stored. When storing used lumber, all nails must be withdrawn before stacking. Also, lumber must be stacked on level support pads so that it remains in a stable position. Lumber piles handled by forklift must not exceed 20 feet in height, and lumber piles handled manually must not exceed 16 feet in height. When storing cylindrical materials such as poles, pipes, and structural steel, the materials must be stacked and blocked to prevent them from rolling, as shown in this image. The following are requirements of housekeeping and for the disposal of waste materials. Storage areas must be kept free from accumulation of materials that constitute hazards, such as explosions, fire, tripping, and falling of workers, and the harboring of pests. Employers are also required to control the amount of vegetation present at the job site. The following image shows kudzu growing near where materials are being stored at the job site. When using rigging equipment to move materials, the rigging must be inspected prior to use on each shift, and defective equipment must be removed from service. Rigging must not be loaded in excess of its recommended safe working load, and welded alloy steel chains must have a permanent identification tag stating the size, grade, rated capacity, and sling manufacturer. Any other additional attachments, such as hooks, rings, or oblong links, must have a rated capacity at least equal to that of the chain. When wire rope is used, it must consist of one continuous piece, except for eye splices in the ends of wires. Wire rope must not be used if, in any length of 8 diameters, the total number of visible broken wires exceeds 10% of the total number of wires, or if the rope shows other signs of excessive wear, corrosion, or defect. Wire rope must not be kinked or permanently bent and must be protected from the sharp edges of its load. When using slings made of synthetic webbing, the slings must be marked or coded to show the name or trademark of the manufacturer, the rated capacity for the type of hitch, and the type of material from which the sling was made. The manufacturer's safe working load limit must never be exceeded, and the sling must not contact sharp edges that could damage the webbing. If a red warning thread is visible, the sling must be removed from service. When disposing of waste materials, all material must be removed from the immediate work area as the work progresses and placed into waste containers.